All right. Overall thoughts. More
Right.
concise, more. I guess. Okay. I guess just a general wrap up of your overall opinions of the movie. Then we'll unpack it from there.
Ant-Man Wasp was good, I guess. I'd give it another watch. I guess just to, once now that my expectations are gone, I know I can enjoy the movie. No, you wait. You go. Fuck it.
So you say you'll give it another watch, but
I'll
what?
give it another watch for sure. Just because now I know what happens in the movie. Now I can just and just enjoy it. I don't have to like criticize it or whatever because after just watching so many movies, you just can't help it like
Try to pick a
movies.
movie apart.
Pick a movie apart.
And
yeah.
that's the whole movement I'm on, but I'll get into that later. Dude,
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Definitely could use more Ant-Man though.
we could use a lot more
Definitely
Ant-Man.
more.
We'll get into that. That's a different thing entirely. I overall like the movie, but what you were saying about people, it's so easy to try to pick a movie apart. Like one of the major criticisms for this film is the lack of villains. I'm just like, why does
It wasn't really the villain so much for me because it didn't have a villain.
That didn't
It was
bother
just
me
the
at
fact that it was just none of that.
yeah? Oh no, I'm gonna say that one for last because that's an important. Jesus Christ.
all. That's what it says with the Baglio and all the other things.
Anyway, so it is really easy to pick a movie apart, and I guess what people will say on things like that, but I feel like the way I say it all the time, the way I grade a movie is one thing. How long can I watch the movie without me having to roll my eyes or sigh in disgust? Basically, am I enjoying what I'm seeing? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I don't. If a movie isn't deeper or on a have a more deeper level to it, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think if it's bad if I don't enjoy the movie I'm watching.
Then again, you have to, is it like a one-time watch or like you can enjoy multiple times type of movie?
And that's also goes more into it. Now, like if I could watch it, be like, okay, but that was cool. But I never want to see that again.
Yeah.
Well, that's an okay movie. If I could watch it and be like, oh, this is cool, and even with its flaws, I can take it and be like, oh yeah, I'll watch this again, and that's a good movie. I mean, with the flaws aside, you can't say that's not a good movie.
No, it's definitely.
Like that's why I say Batman and Robin is a great movie, because you will watch it over and over and over again.
It's one of those so bad it's good.
Yeah. So with that being said, now not to say the movie can't be criticized is ridiculous. I have one major criticism for this movie.
Can be criticized.
But my major criticism is the shafting of Ant-Man for the artificial inflation of Wasp's incredibleness.
I'm telling you, man, it's just gonna get worse from here on out. This is the path they've chosen.
This is the path they've chosen.
Yeah, because I mean, with Kevin Feige saying, "Oh yes, more females, more female directors." It's like, oh God, you're gonna just. It wasn't about the politics before, but it is now.
It's getting very
and
political.
it's just gonna hurt your franchise.
And especially because it totally went it.
No franchise is untouchable. Just look what happened to Solo. It did not do
Look
well.
what happened to Star Wars, yeah.
Exactly.
But the thing is, it's so unnatural in this film in particular because this movie goes against Ant-Man's character development from both Ant-Man and Civil War.
Yep.
We've seen Scott as someone who was capable, somebody who could handle himself, somebody who could think, calmly and whatever, and it's more important, someone who could handle himself in a fight.
Yep.
In this movie, I didn't see any of that, and like, I mean, especially I don't get this one. He had his old suit. I don't know what was wrong with his old suit, but he never put it on. He kept using a new suit that was malfunctioning. It didn't make any sense. It was such an intentional nerf to make Ant-Man that probably not make him look better, but just try to make sure he doesn't upstage Wasp.
I think that's the movie's biggest plot hole. It's like he literally could have just
Put on
the suit.
the other suit.
If he had it the whole time, he could have just put it on.
Put it on. What was the point of the malfunction?
Why would you have a faulty suit when you clearly have a working suit? It's
I mean,
just
in
dumb.
that first instance, when he used it to help Watts out, I guess, I understood it right there, because, he didn't have it. But when he got his suit back from the school,
right?
Why didn't he put it on?
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
Is it just for let's have a new suit just so we can sell toys? I guess, but at the same time, it's like you're hurting your movie by doing that.
You're hurting a movie because you're Ant-Man. You're making Ant-Man looking competent. I can't think. Basically, every scene where he was not as Scott Lang as Ant-Man, almost every scene where he was Ant-Man was comedic.
Yep.
It was comedic. It was no gravity to it. And when it came down to kicking ass, Watts kicked all of the ass.
Yep.
I can't think of anybody. I can't think of a group of bad guys or anything that Scott beat up in that movie. Right? No, nothing. Outside of he chased the car where he was comedically scootering on a fucking truck. to chase a group of bad guys, and that's what I'm saying, like shit like that. I'm like, well, where's the ass kicking at? Where's the seriousness in his character? It's like a total retcon.
It's like I guess they thought like, oh, he had a whole movie to shine and a big chunk. Like
and I can get that, especially because he's going to be in Avengers 4, and Wasp won't be in Avengers 4.
But he never had a moment to shine in this movie.
In this movie, he didn't do anything.
Nope.
He did. Wasp did. She did everything. It was so disproportionate.
Yeah, they are.
He said he's gonna go bowling.
It's so disproportionate, and then like even to that extent, it brings me back to like problems I have in Marvel Comics as of right now, where if you want to, I have nobody in comics gate or anything. Nobody has a problem with female or minority characters or anything.
Nope.
Nobody has a problem with them wanting to push and promote those characters.
There's ways to do
That's
it.
fine. We have a problem with when you take a character. Okay, Jane Foster Thor. You want to promote Jane Foster Thor? Why does Thor all of a sudden need to become unworthy and banished and written out and made emasculated and like fucking terrible in the comics? You want to promote Reed Williams as Ironheart? Why do you need to kill Tony Stark? You want to promote Miles Morales as Spider-Man? Why do you need to kill Peter Parker? It's like, you know what I mean? Like, why can't they work together? Why can't you do both? It's so insulting because you're basically saying, hey, this is what you have to deal with now. If you don't like it, don't read it. Well, guess what? We don't read it. And it's getting to the point with the Marvel movies, if you keep going down this path, you're just not going to watch it.
Yeah, no, it's true. At least I can say, well, the actors and the filmmakers or whatever, they're not insulting the fans. Unlike the comic,
not them. It's
not like the comic people. They are clearly insulting the fans, which is just not cool. And then when they wonder why their books don't sell, and they keep remaking number ones just to sell those, and then you keep going like a five book run, and then that's it, and it doesn't sell shit. You probably sell under 1 million.
I'm following this new Iron Man, right? I want to see how long it lasts. With fucking Bendis. Well, just because Slott, my bad. Bendis was doing that. I mean, not just because Slott is doing it, it might last for a really long time.
Maybe
just because he's doing it.
But
like,
if he's tops it with Iron Man fans too,
they're not gonna cancel Slott. I read the first 2 issues; they weren't too bad. We'll see though.
Maybe I heard fresh new character.
I heard Bendis and Superman's gotten really bad lately.
Really? I mean, I heard it started off great.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised. But
it happens.
I don't know, man. Like Wasp was like, and I'm the biggest Wasp fanboy ever. But Wasp is so artificially badass in this movie because of course you look badass when Ant-Man doesn't do anything at all.
Now it's like we knew she was badass from like the first one because Hope was the one that trained him and shit.
Yeah,
now that's cool.
And that's the thing. Listen, the first movie established that Hope was the one that taught him how to fight. So why in this movie do you have to upstage him with Hope so she can get all the shine? She was the one who taught him how to fight.
Right.
Like we already know she's badass. It's just like you cannot point in one scene in this movie where Ant-Man is just kicking a bunch of ass. You can't. You can't do it. It didn't happen.
That scene did not exist.
It didn't exist. Every time it came
messed up though, if it was a deleted.
Listen,
scene.
when it came to the fight scenes on the floor, Wasp did it. When it came to the car chases, Wasp went to the cars and beat up everybody. Wasp did everything. I'm a fan of the Wasp. That's not right.
Yeah, no.
Wasp did everything.
She did do everything.
She handled all the physical confrontations. Ant-Man was 100% comedic. That is not good. That's my major gripe with that movie. Oh, look at that Captain Marvel stuff. I actually like Captain Marvel.
That's from NBC.
The thing is, I actually like Captain Marvel. Bro, I just don't like what they've been doing with her lately.
I mean, her 10 years ago, sure. But like now
awesome.
It's like she's just a toxic character.
Yeah. Overall though, I guess to wrap up, it's been on for about 10 minutes. I watched the movie again. I enjoyed the movie. Okay, I'll put it to this way. Action scenes were good.
Yeah.
The characters' performances, the actors' performances were great.
The comedy was good. I mean, it was funny.
Cinematography was great. The shrinking stuff, all that stuff.
Definitely.
Cinematography was great. The story is pretty light. It's kind of fluffy. It's a really fluffy story. Like it's digestible.
It's not the strongest story.
Yeah, it's digestible. But even still, it's entertaining. This movie is 100% entertaining. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. But
I have a genuine problem with the way Ant-Man was handled in the sequel to his franchise.
Poorly.
Very poorly.
There's no other word I can think of. Just poorly handled Ant-Man in his own sequel.
And I have another complaint which contradicts my entire rant. But Wasp will not be in Avengers, at least unless.
I mean, as far as we know, like I haven't seen her in behind-the-scenes pictures or anything. Ant-Man for sure, I've seen him in the behind-the-scenes.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm
Wasp, I don't know.
I'm like, so what? And granted, total contradiction, but I'm a Wasp fanboy. So like, no Wasp in Avengers? What the hell? I would love to see that.
I don't know. From what I hear, they wanted both of them since like the first Avengers movie. But they couldn't. They cast it, or the story couldn't. They couldn't figure out the story or whatever. But I don't know.
What do you think about the new tech they had in the movie? Like you saw most of it in
The whole
Wasp's.
quantum realm?
No, like you saw most of it in Wasp's suit. Like they got better with the shrinking and growing stuff. Like they got.
Oh, they could just do it at will. That's amazing. I like that.
Like and they could shrink and grow other things too around them. The Wasp, her stingers had a shrink, had a normal shot, a shrink shot, and a grow shot.
It just reminds me of like in Incredibles 2. It's like you've seen these powers before, but like with Elastigirl, you just see more of it, or like the different ways that you can use the powers, and that's the same thing they did in this movie. The shrinking and growing powers, they just found different ways to do it. Like they had like a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Do you think the superhero movie can maintain itself while with the goal of trying to be comedic over dramatic?
It's a very fine line. I think it's you have to find a way to have the comedy, but not make it like stupid comedy or like too childish, because it's not just kids going to go see this movie. While it is a bunch of kids buying the merchandise or whatever, and there's a lot of those fans or whatever that just buy all the merchandise and shit. But it's like you have to find a way to find a balance between like the adult and the kids.
So as far as Marvel's more lighthearted comedic films, you got Guardians, you got Ant-Man.
Yeah.
They both had 2 films now. Who do you think is doing it a little better?
I mean, for me, like I said, I liked. I liked Ant-Man and the Wasp over Guardians 2, but again, that's just because I felt like Guardians 2. It was more comedic. It was more comedic, but some of the jokes they went on for too long, and then at the same time they didn't land. And just like whenever it came to emotional moments, they just did not land as well. Ant-Man, when it came to like moments with his daughter, no, those moments they worked.
That was the best part of the movie.
And then with like when they reunited with Janet, that worked. But like Guardians 2, I just feel like him with his dad and like all his like dead siblings, like none of that worked. None of that landed. Nebula giving her tragic backstory, that did not land because there was a funny scene like right afterwards. That's what Guardians 2, it's low for me. It's like a lot of people just love it more than the first one. Like I don't. Like yeah, you get more backstory for the characters, all the characters.
But as a film, it was weaker.
As a film, it was weaker. It was just was.
Yeah. It kind of just happened from scene to scene, and then the Go people were just there just to be there. It was a lot weaker as a film. I admit that.
Yeah.
The movie has a lot of people refer to it as just random science.
Yeah.
And it key thing is Wasp came back from the quantum realm, and now she has quantum powers. And a lot of people's like, well, that should have been explained. My stance is, we live in a world where
vibranium, everything.
The vibranium exists, and then there's 6 stones that let you control reality, and you know what I mean. And then Bruce Banner got hit with a gamma explosion and became the Hulk. Where was the explanation for that? So with Wasp coming out the front, it was like, okay, well, I get it. I get it. People want to know how she survived. Did that really need to be in the film?
No, honestly, it's just like, and then the other thing is like, they already had mentioned in the movie that time and space works different in the quantum realm. So in my mind,
she said she had to adapt and evolve.
In my mind, I thought she wasn't going to age, but then she clearly did. So okay, but at the same time, it's like this is science fiction. We can't be throwing logic into science fiction. Or they should explain everything. No, because then it's like the belief is gone. And they explain everything.
Take it for what it is.
The wonder is just gone. Take it for what it is. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta roll with this shit.
The thing is, I think if you fall into the trap of trying to explain everything, you run into what I call flash talk, where, like the CW Flash, to the point where sometimes when they're trying to explain what's happening, I'm like, you'd be better off just running past this.
Yeah. Honestly, I think those 5 minutes, whatever they take explaining all the science shit, or 10 minutes, it's just filler. It's just like,
you don't even pay attention to it.
No,
really? You just let them talk.
It's in one ear, out the other. I just tune it out. Because I don't care if you explain it. I really don't.
So let's go into Ghost. Yay, nay.
I mean, she wasn't a villain, so I just roll with it. But like I said, I didn't expect nothing from Ghost.
As a villain, but
Ghost is like a lower tiered villain in the Marvel universe anyway.
Well, maybe if you look at it in terms of as a character, or her effects, or just anything about the character.
I felt for her, and if that's what they wanted to do, then they succeeded.
I thought she had cool special effects.
Oh no, definitely. Like I said, they changed it.
Now here's the thing with Ghost. I felt for her until she said one thing. Like when she explained her whole backstory, I was trying to figure out
kidnapping children.
No. I was trying to figure out one thing. All right, Hank Pym fired your dad. Your dad worked too hard, and then he made a mistake, and now your body shifted in and out of the quantum realm. How's that Hank Pym's fault? I mean, I get it. He fired your dad, but why are you? I didn't get why she was so mad at Hank. That didn't make any sense to me. I was just like,
because he didn't want to help. I guess.
That's not his problem.
Well, because that wasn't his problem, because it's like he was just trying to do his own experiment, and probably Hank just didn't want to go along with it.
So he fired
or
him.
he stole tech or something. That's what Hank said. Right?
It's a he said, she said, but the reality is, if he fired him, he fired him.
Yeah.
At that point, he's not
like,
responsible for
ties are cut. I had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, so I didn't quite get that. Dude from Tomb Raider and all those, the true villain of the movie, I guess, him and his gang.
Oh, the dude.
Their whole point, they were just trying to steal Ant-Man and Wasp's tech. That's cool. That's believable.
Now, I don't know if you've seen like rumors or whatever. Some people are suspecting that he's working for Norman Osborn. I'm like, who the hell? Like,
cares?
what reference? Who the hell cares? Like, so it was like, what
Where did you get that from?
Where did you get that from? There was no mention of Osborn or anything.
He said, I have powerful tech buyers.
So that could be anybody.
That could be
it doesn't
AIM.
have to be Norman. Like Norman Osborn's like a big.
That could be Hydra. That could be AIM.
Yeah,
that could be
they barely did AIM in like Iron Man 3.
Yeah,
it's like honestly they could bring back AIM in a bigger capacity.
They could really do AIM.
In a bigger capacity. But like Norman Osborn, bullshit. Like if anything, they'd introduce him in a Spider-Man movie. That's his character. Yes, he's a villain in the whole Marvel universe, but he's closely tied to Spider-Man. They would introduce him in a Spider-Man movie and then bring him into the bigger, universe.
What about, let's go into the characters solely designed for comedy, which unfortunately Ant-Man was one of them, but Michael Pena's character and the FBI director. I really like the FBI director's character. Okay, people said his scenes were like cringy or they went on too long and they were awkward, but that's why I loved it.
Honestly, it's like that's just the kind of actor I guess he is. Like he just does the kind of jokes he does, like awkward jokes. Because I mean, he was in the movie The Oscar's Christmas Party.
Yeah,
and he was like a mom fetish. Like it was weird. It is, but he just plays those weird characters very well.
Every time he was like the last one, he was just like, "I'll see you around, Scott." He's like, "Oh, are you inviting me to lunch?" He's like, "No, why would I invite you?" He's like, "Do you want it?" Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know. I would have got lunch. I would have went. Like, because the thing is, I kind of like why I'm getting so into this character, but I really like this character. I love how he was really just doing his job. He's like, "Oh, dude, I'm the FBI." Like he didn't even care that Scott was Ant-Man. He was like, he told him, "All right, you got to wait this time, whatever." It's not like he thinks Scott's a bad dude. I think he actually thinks Scott's pretty cool. I think he thinks Ant-Man is cool. It's just, it's the law. It's just
like, what was it? The reason that he got caught the first time in the first movie? Like, wasn't he like giving money to the poor or something?
Who
in the first movie? Like, why he got arrested?
Yeah.
I mean, it was for a good reason. Good.
And then he's on house arrest because he's surrendered in Sokovia and everything.
Yeah, and actually I like how they tie that together with some more, because it's like, where was that man?
This movie. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Wasp for a second. This movie had the nerve to have Wasp had that line. I was like, you should have took me with you when you went to Germany or whatever. And then I was like, okay, awesome. I thought it was leading up to how Ant-Man and Wasp going to work with the Avengers, and then they erased her at the end of the movie. My God. Now, here's the only thing. The only saving grace could be is like halfway through the next Avengers, everybody comes back, and then they all gang up on Thanos. But I'm pretty sure they're going to beat Thanos first, and then everybody comes back like in the end scene or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's going to piss me off, but whatever. We'll definitely see more of Ant-Man and Wasp later. Michael Pena's character was great.
He honestly, I thought he was gonna get less screen time, but he got about just the same, and still he stole his scene.
He was like, "I want to get a suit, a suit, no powers."
He's not gonna use super no powers, so that he wouldn't be his superhero name. He'd be just Michael Pena or Luis's character, right? By your logic, he would just be Luis in the costume. He has no powers.
Yeah, because he's not a different person at that point.
Yeah.
And like what I mean is like when I say it, it's like the suit literally changes who you are, except like Iron Man. He's the only one that says the suit comes from my mind at that point. So, but like Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man until he puts the mask on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's not. Overall, though, I don't know. I liked it. I just felt like the nerfing of Ant-Man was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because it was insulting. It literally went against. We seen from Ant-Man and we seen from Civil War that Scott is intelligent. He's capable. He can handle himself in a fight. We've seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
This movie did not. It went against
just
all
ignored
that. It ignored all that. There's not one scene in this movie where Ant-Man is just beating the crap out of a bunch of guys just because he's Ant-Man and he's cool like that. There's not one. It doesn't happen. He had one-on-one confrontation with Ghost, and he ran away from her the entire time. It's not good.
I did not enjoy that.
He made Ant-Man look like he can't handle himself.
Like,
regardless,
that in a movie.
And I put it to regardless of his shrinking and growing was working or not, one-on-one he can fight. He would have fought Ghost hand to hand.
I mean, if he could hit her, but yeah.
If he could manage to hit her, but still, I don't know. And then it was the most insulting how at the end of the movie, finally his suit just starts working when him and Wasp tag team Ghost, and that was cool. Finally, you know why that scene was so cool? We finally saw Ant-Man kicking ass. him and Wasp tag team and Ghost beating the crap. I was like, oh my god, Ant-Man's beating the shit out of people. Yes, awesome, let's go, fucking Ant-Man. Finally. I don't know, man. Any last overall arcing?
I think I've
You said your piece.
I've said my piece.
Said my piece. You'll look at it again?
No, definitely watch it again. Like I'll tell you this, I'd watch this over Guardians 2. And it's not. I don't hate Guardians 2. I was just incredibly disappointed with that movie.
That movie had nothing to it. That movie was shallow. It really was. It was just funny.
There you go.
It was really just funny.
It was just funny.
It really was. Like, I put it to this, Guardians 2 was almost, like, Thor Ragnarok was almost as bad for me as Guardians 2. If you would have just removed Hela from that movie would have had nothing to it. It would have just been a funny movie. That's it. If you would have removed Hela.
It was a little bit better just because they had Hulk and just that whole...
But what I'm saying, like, Hela was the only gravity in that movie.
Yeah, no, definitely.
She was the only gravity in that movie.
She held the movie together. It's like, she's the one that kept the stakes high.
Yeah, without her, that movie
it just would have been a fun, like, buddy movie.
On a fucking random planet, fighting in the Coliseum, nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. Like, nothing. So, Ant-Man Wasp was not that bad. They clearly, from start to finish, they had a mission. It was rescue the old school Wasp. That stuff was happening. Yeah. It's just the way it happened is probably, I'm a little, mad about, I guess. I don't know. But I still enjoyed it.
Disappointment, a little bit of everything.
Okay, so what's coming up? What's came out so far this year? We had Black Panther, Infinity War,
Deadpool 2,
Ant-Man and Wasp. What else has come out so far?
Well, we have the movie you definitely don't want to see is Venom.
I got that.
Venom.
Okay, so you know what? I enjoy Ant-Man and Wasp a little bit more than Deadpool 2, if I can be honest.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. Now, granted, probably because there is a lot of scenes of Wasp kicking ass, and I'm just a Wasp fanboy. Yeah. Probably that might be it. It's a lot of eye candy. Like, I'll put in Suicide Squad just to watch Harley Quinn smack shit with a bat. Like, I mean, it's just like it's fun.
I mean, preferences. We all have our preferences.
So this movie has a lot of eye candy for me. I could just watch a montage of Wasp kicking the shit out of people's asses.
Yeah. So we have Venom and we have Aquaman and
Aquaman.
No, like, which Aquaman are you using?
The one that's Aquaman.
Oh, okay.
What?
But there's a different one?
Yeah.
Or like you think they were going to reboot it?
No, I got confused. You said Aquaman. I immediately started comparing the cartoons.
No. They're using the guy who plays Aquaman now.
Yeah, a live action Aquaman.
They're not just about to just get a whole new dude.
Finally getting one.
But they're still keeping the old Joker though. That other Joker movie isn't tied to these movies. It's just a random movie about the Joker called Joker. That's just about the Joker.
It's a Joker origin movie.
Yeah, the other Joker. I don't know. I have no idea. It's not even tied to the DC movies. It's just a random one-off movie.
I don't know. From what there's rumors about like DC just wants to have like 2 branches of films, like the
DC canon, Universe films and then DC movies,
one-off movies.
Yeah. You know how you remember back in the days, superhero movies used to be one-off stories. Wasn't tied to anything.
You had like your shitty
Fantastic Four.
You had your Green
Blade.
Lantern movie.
That just one-off films, not tied to anything.
Well, except for the X-Men movie, they were all.
But it was just X-Men. It was just.
Yeah, it was X-Men, but you had like your X-Men Origins and you had your Logan.
It wasn't tied in. It was just more like continuing story.
Continuing story, yeah. It was the first cinematic universe. It was the X-Men universe.
It could be like the Wolverine movies. They're connected to the X-Men universe, but they're the Wolverine movies. You know what I mean?
No, it's an X-Men movie.
No, it's an X-Men movie about Wolverine.
Yeah.
Wolverine movies.
No, it's an X-Men movie just about Wolverine. It's not a Wolverine. No, stop. We're not having this conversation. It's your boy, Sophus Hell Hydra.